This NASCAR betting strategy show with Ryan from Win the Race edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by KUTT. KUTT is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that is available and U.S.-based in 40 states. Head to KUTT.com. That's KUTT.com. Use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBet.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off of your first month and start making smarter bet today. And don't forget to enter our Super Bowl 58 props contest. Pick 58 Super Bowl prop bets for a chance to win $1,000. Enter today for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/SB58 or in the SGPN app.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
It is a beautiful day to talk racing things here on the NASCAR Gambling Podcast, here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez, and today we have a special guest. Today, listen, there's some of us that love to crunch numbers, but then there's others of us that go just completely off the deep end, and God bless you for it. It is Ryan Stevens from wintherace.info. He is a man that gives us so much information week after week after week that we use to become, well, better bettors, better DFS players, and all that other good stuff. So we're just so happy to have him. We're going to talk some strategy. We're going to talk some DFS. We're going to talk some analytics, all the stuff that's within his wheelhouse. So Cody, first I'll kick it to you, buddy. Welcome into this one. And I mean, we're fresh off the heels of the Clash, but damn, man, like I'm already ready for Daytona.
Oh, I'm ready for Daytona. The books are starting to get ready for Daytona. The full gamut has been dropped out there. Things are available. We've got bets to start looking at, start digging into. Man, it's a beautiful time of year, and I'm pumped for it. Happy to talk to Ryan today. I'm excited for this conversation. Going to be fun. He's got so many useful tools. So going to be another good day as we count down the days to the Super Bowl, of course, for both of you fellas. And our Super Bowl in the Daytona 500.
Amen to that. Ryan, again, welcome. But more than that, I'm welcoming in another San Francisco 49ers fan, and I already feel like we should be drinking beer watching the Super Bowl together this weekend.
Yeah, man. I'm staring at a nice framed Jerry Rice signed jersey on the wall here. It's just, we're ready for Sunday. It's going to be great to have two, back-to-back Super Bowls, the Niners in a Super Bowl and then the Daytona 500. So this time of year is great. I just hope we can get some revenge on those Chiefs.
Yes, me too. Now, again, it's going to come at the expense of my brother, who I kind of feel bad about, but at the same time, I
don't feel bad. The Chiefs have won enough.
He got one already, so I want the other one. I mean, we can share. That's what our parents taught us to do. So. Yeah, I'm all for that. But no, Ryan, the real reason obviously we're here is for NASCAR and for us to talk about your site in particular, and really just all the good stuff that folks can expect from your site as they join, as they use your information. But again, Daytona, this is exciting. First of all, how long have you actually enjoyed NASCAR as a fan?
Well, when I was a kid, I'm 39. So when I was a kid, I accidentally kicked my camera there. Sorry about that. I'll fix that right now. But I remember playing fantasy with my grandfather where we used to have to mail picks in down to Florida.
Oh,
And I've told
wow.
the story on some other pods and stuff, but you'd have to handwrite them in, had like the full roster. And I don't even remember really how they scored it, probably just on the points. And you had to write down 5 or 6 drivers, and then we'd literally lick an envelope, put it in the mailbox, and ship him down to his friend in Florida. And he would score it, and we'd do the same thing every week. So,
Oh, that is
yeah,
beautiful.
we had a couple different teams. All the teams were named after our dogs for I don't know why we did that either. But yeah, man, as I got a little older, I got out of it for a while, really like high school age. And then, DFS came around and kind of, I fell in love with the sport again. I was playing DFS basketball, football, things like that, all the major sports. Then when NASCAR came, I'm like, man, start playing that. Then I start watching it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Like, so then it's just been die hard, ever since. I don't even have a favorite driver anymore. He liked Earnhardt Sr. So, I like Dale Jr. after that. And then, now I kind of just like who my money's on. So,
That's
but
a good
but I
favorite
enjoy
driver
it.
to have.
Yeah, exactly.
And your favorite driver is the one that wins you the most money. I like that loyalty because it definitely doesn't tie you to one individual. You can get happy with Chastain one week, and then you can spend the rest of the time hating him, and that's okay. There's no love loss in that arena. So, yeah, I mean, listen, again, we're all of us here. We've loved NASCAR for a while, but it takes a special kind of love to dig into numbers the way you do. So, was it the start of what you were doing that got you kind of into the statistical weeds of it all, or was there a specific thing that made you want to dig deeper into all these races?
Yeah, it's really just the fact of wanting to dig deeper. There are always sites out there, and there still are, and they're great sites, and I know they're ran by great people, but they're just like I'd get something there, but I'd want a little bit more. So I go to another site, and then I go to another site, and just instead of piecing it all together, I kind of just wanted to create my own that had everything I know that I wanted to use and everything that I thought worked best for me while I was playing. So that's kind of how when the race started.
Yeah, it's such a special person too that says, "I'm going to do all of this, but then I'm going to share it with you as well, and let everybody have a piece of it. A piece of it. You're not giving it all away for free. You're a very
Yeah.
wise man. But again, there's a lot going on in there. And tell you what, I know Cody and I we've used it quite a bit of times as we've gone through the course of the season.
It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have, Xfinity and trucks, which a lot of places you go to are strictly to the Cup Series. And as you know, we cover all three, obviously. So I think that's a huge advantage that you also offer those things, because that's not something you find a lot of places. A lot of people do Cup Series stuff, and then they kind of stop there and they don't go any farther. But we love Xfinity and trucks, and there's a huge advantage there, especially if you start to dig into the numbers. So I think that's something really cool that you guys offer as well.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to do is like I have my true performance ranks, which is really just it's kind of what I think is most important of the data that NASCAR spits out after a race, and then kind of weigh it out and give a full rank of the field after every single race. And doing that for all 3 series, I think, is a huge advantage. It just kind of sets you up for the next race, and to kind of prove that, like last year, we were like, man, what would happen if you just bet the top 3 or so guys on the practice and qualifying ranks, and one guy in Discord was doing it. And I don't know, I don't know for how long he did it, but it was like 5 or 6 weeks in a row he was hitting a bet, just placing, and that was before practice and qualifying, just off the stuff that we do, that I did in the beginning of the week. So, like this week too, had Denny Hamlin, second. If you just blindly bet the top 3 guys that were all 10-1 or further, you would have hit Denny. So it's just something to keep an eye on. I think I'm going to track it a lot more this year, and then also track it versus the post practice and qualifying ranks that I put out as well. So, and I think I might bet them all. And even if I have the same guy, I'll just double up on him, if he's still in the top 3 of the post practice qualifying ranks. So we'll see what happens. We'll see.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say we'll see. We got 2 drafting races to start the year, so we'll maybe pump the brakes there a little bit. Smaller units at first, and then we'll grow into it. So
yeah, wait till Las Vegas to start that, baby.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we had already said that the back-to-back draft races are sort of, this is a great time for you to start listening, but also understand that the real betting season kind of begins at Las Vegas. So hold tight.
Totally
we'll
agree.
get you there. But
Yeah.
and that's another good point too, is that, we put these shows out and we put them out before anything happens. And so we're going off of data that we're using that has nothing to do with qualifying or anything like that. So, we try to tend to pip people away or show people the way to data like yours after practice, because that's even valuable as well. And so that's where we try to kind of factor in folks like you who are like, hey, listen, we got you before practice and qualifying, but then, we got to get you somewhere else after practice and qualifying, because things change.
Yeah. One of the coolest things that we did was bring on Joe Schroeder, who he built this Speed Geeks platform. And one of the coolest things he has is a practice model. So the practice model, I mean, it takes all the crappy laps out. Like if you're coming back out into traffic or on worse tires, things like that. So it basically is a model that tries to even out all the practice times best you can, whether it's per group or instances like I just talked about. And that is just a super invaluable tool as well. At the end of last year, you'd see some odd names toward the top of that, but for DFS, and even for betting, because they have better numbers if you're betting them, they were either lower owned in DFS or got a better number betting, and they actually were fast once you dug through all the weeds and get to these guys. So that's something else that we were tracking, and the practice model's been on point. So bringing Joe's on has just been huge.
Well, we'll cut into that some more and we'll dig deeper into that as well. But first, let me tell you about Draftkings. Looking for a super offer for Super Bowl 58? Draftkings Sportsbook has you covered. New customers can bet on the big game and turn $5 into $200 instantly in bonus bets. We talked about how we're big Niners fans, Ryan and I. Well, guess what? The 49ers 2 points favorites over the Chiefs right now. If you want to find all that action, it's on DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code SGP. New customers can bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 58 with code SGP. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. We love us some underdog fantasy, underdog DFS fantasy. This is exactly the kind of stuff that we will be using to create our underdog pick'ems, and Underdog has a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, college football. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. You can win 100x with some spicy plays. A spicy play like Christian McCaffrey. His touchdowns, rushing and receiving, is set at 1.5. That little chili means that it is a 1.5 times play. So you need to hurry up and grab that pick, because Christian McCaffrey is going to score all day long and 5 times next Sunday. So we are all about that right now. So watch along, make your picks, maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. And when you sign up with the promo code RACESGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code RACESGPN. And if you listen in the distance, that's Christian McCaffrey getting ready to score. So definitely love that as well. JDK in the chat already. Love the numbers talks. Yes, you do, JDK.
JDK is a big numbers guy. He's always sharing. He's creating all these spreadsheets, all the stuff he's sharing in our Discord. So this is right down his alley.
Oh yeah, he'd probably geek right out on my site. That'd be great. Might have found a home for him.
Exactly, yes, like this too. He says, do you track qualifying versus finish differential? If so, do you think it's useful? I've been breaking down last year to see which drivers on average finish above their qualifying position. Sounds like a you question, Ryan.
Actually, Greg Thurn who's our director of betting. I think you guys are familiar with him. He does what's called front runners, and that's on the front runner sheet every week. As far as, and it even has it by the correlated track, and the specific track that they're at. He puts in an average start and average finish in it every single time, so you can see that. And I know he tracks all those numbers. So someone actually just asked him too if we had that per track, and he worked on that for somebody. So we do have all the numbers. You can find them somewhere. If I don't have them, Greg has them. And just if you're in the Discord, it might not be an article per se that we put out, but we have them and can share them with you. So hop in there.
That's Greg is an awesome dude. I spent a little time at the Garage Guys with them too, as well with you. And yeah, he's a good guy to follow. Does a lot of good work. How many people do you have contributing to your site now?
Just Greg, Joe, and Jim. Jim, I've known, I've done this with him at NASCAR DFS for 3 or 4 years now. We've become great friends. We met up, went to a race together and stuff. So it's kind of cool how this industry can bring people together like that. But yeah, he's like our data analyst / back end guy. He does all the good analytics, like contest selection tool that he put up there. So he taps into Draftkings, and every single contest that's on there tells you the percent it's paying out rake, the percent to double up in the contest, the percent paid to the top, whoever comes in first. It's all broken down there. So you can see, and he has it by tournament or by single entry 3-max, things like that. So whatever your game type is, you can log in there and see what you think the smartest contest is for you to join.
Wow.
Really cool. Yeah, we got a lot of tools on there that, like, I put a thing out at the end of the year. It's just like a survey, and kind of everything was split because people use like a little bit of everything on the site, which is cool. But I got to make just one like big video now and just kind of go through all the tabs and show everybody what's there. But I got a YouTube I created this year. It's got like 4 videos, so I got to work on that.
That's okay.
It's a good start. Got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
The only reason we have any videos at all is because we just go live with this, and we're like, screw it, we're good to go. We don't even care. But here's the thing about it too. When you start to dig in, what really ultimately, what do you find most important when you're building DFS or I know you by track it's all different, but an overall, like an overarching, is there one overarching sort of strategy for NASCAR DFS for those who maybe are brand new or are thinking about playing NASCAR DFS? What's one piece of advice you give them right out of the gate?
I think the smartest players that I talk to always have a plan. Whether I think that's a smart plan or not is just, we just might play different. It's just different thought process, really. Like Joe plays tournaments only. Yeah, I can't talk him into playing cash. I don't know why. He'll never do it. He's like, if you're not first, you're last. It goes for that big score, and he's hit him before. He's had 6-figure wins, so he can do it. But you just got to you have to have the mindset to know, you're going to lose a lot, and then eventually, the big ones pop. Me, I play more of the casual player. I play for high volume, but I play a lot of cash to kind of cover the tournament losses if they lose. And then some weeks they both pop. Some weeks the tournament will pop and cash will just miss. But we do cash more often than not. That's kind of what I think, known for when people see the leaderboards. When they see the win the race symbol, it's typically we're at the top of cash games. But that's my plan. My plan is to kind of limit the risk. I got 2 kids, a wife. I don't really need, I don't play to pay my bills from DFS. I like it for fun things, to take vacations or whatever else we can do. Or pay, buy something for my kids, whatever it may be. And those are my goals. So I think you just have to have goals. Do you want to always play within your means, but do you want to hit the big one and you're okay losing 10 weeks in a row? Or do you want to just kind of steadily grow that bankroll up? And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'd rather just hit cash a lot and just kind of keep stacking as you go. And if you have a bad week, it's not as bad. So hopefully that answers it.
Oh, no, absolutely. Lynn in the chat saying love that approach. And I think that's sort of something that we've kind of approached on too when we talk about overall strategies, and that's a good betting strategy as well. Like, what kind of bettor do you want to be? Do you want to be the kind that waits for the big pop on an outright, or like betting the longer odds for one to hit? Or do you want to be the guy who will take or gal that'll be, I'll take a minus 120 on a head to head since I know this is going to hit. Like, it's just a matter of how you want to do it. And a plan is never a bad thing. And I think that's something we have to hammer home to a lot of the newer bettors and DFS players.
I think that was my biggest issue when I first got into DFS with NASCAR. Is I was all over the place, like a little bit of trying to hit this, a little bit of trying to hit that, not really like it organized on and having a plan. So I think that's a great way to approach it.
Yeah, and track your results. Know what you're doing, know what game types you're better at. You'll see over time, and then just be smart. That's why I don't really do weekly or monthly memberships, because NASCAR, it's more of a marathon than a sprint. Like, by the end of the year, we want to be profitable. It's going to be a lot of dumb shit's going to happen at the end of these races sometimes. So you just got to kind of trust the process and move on.
Yeah, you can't lose, or you can't win the race on the first lap. You can certainly lose the race on the first lap, but you can't win it on the first lap. You gotta race the whole race long. So, all right, we'll continue this conversation, but I'm excited to tell you about our Super Bowl 58 props contest. You know why? Because look at the glorious Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle over there on the side. Yeah, Mahomes and Kelsey are there too, but let's focus on the right side of that screen. If you want to be part of this Super Bowl prop contest, it is a $1,000 winner take all contest. I know free is expensive, but if you have the money, you can enter for free. You get 58 props for Super Bowl 58. And if you get them right, you win $1,000. Enter for free right now. Enter today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/SB58 or the link in the SGPN app. We are going to be making a ton of cut bets this year because, listen, there's always those side bets that you like to make with your friends that you always want to have bragging rights for. But why not put a little bit of cash in your pocket when you win with KUTT? KUTT is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states. Peer-to-peer social betting is new, and let's face it, it's a better way to bet. Bet directly against your friends or other users on not just sports, but politics, pop culture, and other events, so long as they've got verifiable income. You got verifiable income, but it's verifiable outcomes. Tons of fun social features that'll give it the feel of a betting social network. KUTT also offers the lowest VIG and fully customizable odds, which means you can create your own bets. Best part of all of it is KUTT handles the payment side of things, so you never have to chase anyone down for money. There's social features like group chats, betting leaderboards, head-to-head history, user profiles, fan groups, and so much more. The rewards, you can get cash back every single time you bet against your friends or other users. If I haven't convinced you yet, KUTT also allows you to list almost any kind of bet, which means it's perfect for getting action on those fun Super Bowl prop bets. You want some coin flip bets with your buddies? You want some anthem bets? You want how many times they cut to Taylor Swift? You can make those bets on KUTT. KUTT is the peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states. Head to KUTT.com, that's KUTT.com, and use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. You hate buying tickets. I hate buying tickets. It is the worst. You don't know if you're going to go to the event in time. You don't know if you're going to get real tickets. You don't know if you're going to pay a handsome price for all of that. Well, guess what? Gametime just took all that stress out of it. Right now, you can buy last-minute tickets and get a Gametime guarantee that when you buy those tickets, they're going to be on time and authentic. Plus, you get lower fees, better prices, and all of this is made for your phone. You're even going to get a picture of the seat that you're going to sit in when you buy these tickets from Gametime. Just stop buying anywhere else. Snag the tickets without the stress with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use CFBX for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So as we kind of gear up toward Daytona, right? I mean, all of the stuff on your site is valuable, but for those of you who are just kind of getting into your site and finding their feet and getting wet in there, where do you send them first as they're beginning to research for a race?
Probably the pre-practice and qualifying ranks that I had mentioned earlier. They'd be the best source. We do have the sim center too, which is set up to we run it against all the books. We run over 10,000 sims. It's something that Joe brought over from his Speed Geeks platform. So sim a race over 10,000 times. It has our input into the race. It's been very, very successful. I know we have 2 drafting races to start, and we haven't ran it yet for Daytona. We'll probably hope post it next week, an actual Daytona week. But I'd probably start there in my pre-practice qualifying ranks and compare the two. And then Greg will put out front runners, which that's just a breakdown of how often drivers are running inside the top 10, 5, and 3, broken down per correlated track and tracks that we're at for the current week. That to me is very important for drafting races because the guys are up front the majority of the time. So yes, they can wreck out, but not all of those cars wreck out. So as people slide by, they still maintain, some of them will maintain their upfront position. And that's what you want at the end of those races. So front runners, I think, would be very important for Daytona week, but those 3 things are key: pre-practice qualifying ranks, front runners, sim center, kind of compare them all together and go from there.
Oh, I mean, I have 6,000 tabs open in my head and on my computer like a million times a day. What I'm hearing and what I hope everybody else hears is that you don't need all those tabs. All you need is a couple of them when you go to win the race, because all that info that you dig around for is right there. And Cody knows, because me and Cody, man, we have a lot of tabs open a lot of times. So
it sounds like we could have a lot of tabs open just within the site, which is amazing because then it keeps it all in one place at least.
I know. I'm trying to, and I said that too. I was like, man, what could we combine here? Just so you're not comparing 3 different things on 3 different pages, but they really are. They're the same, but they're also so different. Like you do want to look at all 3 and things will jump out to you, especially once we get beyond these drafting races and we have the sim center up for like Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Super, like it's the easiest thing to use. We have it sorted out for you with what the best fair market values are based on the simulations, and our simulations are good. Like that's what I said. Like anyone can sim. Well, not anyone, but anyone smart enough to set up a sim can sim, but it's only going to be as good as the data that's put into the simulation itself. And that's where I trust Joe and myself and what we put into it. And the results we had last year were insane. So I just think, we'll get better and better as we go. And I'm excited for it. So even it did hit a super speedway once or twice too. So, I mean, I'm still going to use it next week.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing. And we've tried to kind of stress that over the last week or two. If you're new to this or you're just kind of getting into it, don't base everything on the Clash, on Daytona, on Atlanta. Like the real season will start at Vegas, where things are a lot easier to predict. Of course, anything can happen, but you can actually use the data because the data helps at Daytona and there's things you can look for, but it doesn't take into account fully, getting caught up in a wreck or being at the wrong place at the wrong time. So yeah, hold out, get to that part of the season where things are really going to start shaping up. And like you said before, it is more of a marathon than just you're not going to get there this weekend. You're going to get there over time and by continuing to put in the work and do these things.
So one thing that I do love as well is that you do have all the loop data on one open, like all the loop data is accessible on one page. That right there is clutch, because I'm telling you right now, like I said, when you're fishing through all of the different sites and you have to click on NASCAR.com to get loop data or any other site, you're opening up a million different tabs. With this, all 3 series laid out by race in such a organized fashion in which I can actually just look at it and go, okay, well, I want the loop data for Watkins Glen for the Xfinity race. Oh, here it is right here. And just have it right at my fingertips. That's clutch.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. That's the thing, is like the site will get as basic or as extensive as you want it. We can sim a race 10,000 times and tell you what would be a sharp bet, or you can just click on the loop data from any race you want to and do whatever you want with it. So it's like, it's kind of cool. You can log in 30 minutes before a race and have everything you need. or you can start on Monday and build your own model from our site. It's whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, that's just like I said, it's plain valuable to any better, because we've always told people too on this show, and we'll continue to tell them till we're blue in the face and they stop listening. But we're here to give you picks, yes, but we want more than anything. We're not here just to give you picks. We want to teach you how to discern and look, even come to the conclusion that we're wrong. Like, it's fine if you come to the conclusion that we're wrong through your research.
Well, you might be wrong, Rod, but
I'm always wrong, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I live in a house with 3 other women. I'm always wrong. It's just, that's the way this works. But I'm more comfortable with you coming to that conclusion after all of your research versus me just feeding you picks and then you getting mad at me for being wrong. In which case, I'll tell you, well, then look it up yourself too. Like, don't just rely on me if I'm wrong all the time, or I'll teach you how to fade me. That's a good one too.
There you go. With the practice format being how it is now, where it's so much more limited than it was, pre-COVID, I guess, basically. What do you like the old practice way where there's more practice info and stuff, or do you like this way better where there's probably less work to do between a trillion practices and kind of how it spits out? Or like, what's your ideal? What would you want if you were deciding on practice?
To me, it's been fine. I mean, we've been good at kind of sorting through it anyways, and I feel like it's been giving us an advantage, knowing who would be faster. And I think that'll maintain this year. They are doing that new thing now where they're gonna try to even out the groups, where like group A is in the inside or outside or whatever it was, and B is in the opposite line. So I do think that'll kind of help make the race a little more exciting to start. But yeah, I don't know. I don't mind practice the way it is. It just is what it is. I've run out of things to complain about with NASCAR. Just whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna do. We got no control.
Go with it. There you go. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, and I was going to actually ask you about the qualifying, obviously it being different. And so when you do your pre and post qualifying stuff, I mean, what changes do you have to make to this now to adjust for that?
I don't really know until I see it. So I'm gonna see, and really it won't matter until Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So I want to, and it might not even matter depending on like how the track conditions are. Like if we really do have big group splits or not, where we go. I imagine we will, but we'll see. So I'll just have to play that as it comes. But in my final rankings that I put out in the DFS article every week, and I'll post them on the site too. I actually have speed, like a speed column is one of them. So it basically goes from like my pre-practice and qualifying ranks to post-practice to post-qualifying, and then a final rank overall. So you can just see it kind of in order how my brain worked from the start of the week to the end of the week.
Wow. People see that in our shows, how our brain works at the beginning of the week, at the end of the week. I think sometimes, it definitely is a huge difference at the end of the week than the beginning of the week. But no, listen, again, all of that stuff just so ridiculously valuable. And we will continue to talk about it with you. But let's tell you about Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off of your first month today. Start researching and start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. Ryan, early in your research, are there any particular drivers that that are popping off the page to you that are somebody that we're going to be targeting a lot in the upcoming season, or names you're going to be hearing a lot of in 2024?
So when I did I actually ranked out, I'm going to pull it up here while we're talking. I did the Cup Series predictions, and I basically just did it like points based for the whole year based on my true performance ranks, and then, updated it for the new schedule. And then did my best with what I could with for the guys that are in new cars or new teams, things like that. Um, and like one guy I had higher than I think most. Well, I'll just name two right off the bat. One would be Brad Keselowski. Like I have him going into the round of 8. And I actually liked what I saw from him in the Clash, like because they just haven't shown up at all over the last couple years for the Clash, and then he actually makes the main event. Then he finishes top 10. Whether he belonged in the top 10 or not, it's another story. But he, last year on those short flats, then there's only 5 cars with a top 10 true performance more than him, and like 3 of them were the championship in the championship 4. So I just think like that team is super strong. And look what Busher did last year. I just think they really came on strong. And even on like intermediate tracks and everything this year, I just have this feeling, and he can obviously win a drafting race. I just have this feeling that everywhere outside of road courses, he's going to be strong this year and have like a big Brad year. And then another one I think is going to be really strong. And this one, we did bet him to not win a race this year at plus 120 is Ty Gibbs. And I think that he'll be very, very strong this year. I don't think he's going to win, but I think we can make a lot of money off him with some top 5s and some top 10s. I just think he's got a lot of talent, and opposite of Brad here, especially on the road courses. If he does lose that no win bet from me, I think it'll be on a road course. But hopefully, I'll have him bet to win that week, anyways. But I mean, he's just such a talent in those races, and they always bring a fast car. So I don't know. Those 2 guys I'm looking out for.
That's a good thing about the if you have like the no win bet, if you hit them to win that race, then it's like it doesn't really matter anyways because it canceled itself out. But I love the Ty Gibbs one. I do think he's gonna win a race, but I could see the argument where it's gonna be tough. It's definitely not gonna come easy, and he's gonna have to earn it. Obviously, we kind of saw this weekend what he can do, but how much he still has to learn as far as closing a race out, I think. So hard to argue with that, especially at plus money. But I'm glad he's one of the guys you got on there to watch because I think he's going to be a guy we're going to be talking about a lot this year and making a lot of money off of.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of what we saw last night. He'll be there, but just finishing out a NASCAR race is so hard, especially when you're just that young and inexperienced. So we'll see what happens.
Well, and that aggressive. I mean, he's definitely one of the more aggressive young drivers that we've seen in a while. I mean, a lot of those guys are aggressive, but Ty's got the cockiness to go along with it as well. So yeah. Definitely. But one thing I'm going to coin now from what you said. Anytime we talk about Brad Keselowski, but I'm gonna say he's got Big Brad energy. That's gonna be my thing from now on. So I love it. You like a Big Brad year? I'm gonna say he's gonna have Big Brad energy. So that'll be the rest of my season.
That'll work.
Is there any drivers that you're not as high on that maybe consensus kind of has them having a really good season and you just don't quite think it's going to happen, or maybe they fall off from where they have been last year or the last few years or anything?
Just looking at how I projected this out here, some people are saying maybe Kyle Busch should be a little higher. I know Bubba Wallace too. I have making the round of the playoffs, but then not making the round of 12. Yeah, I don't know. I just like Bubba is another one that we bet and win the race. Well, I did. I don't think Greg's along this ride with me, but I figured the same thing we said about Ty. If he's going to win a race, hopefully I'll know he has a rocket and bet him to win anyways. But I bet him to not win a race this year at plus 110. I just again, same thing. I think he can be fast. I can make a lot of money off him on some top 5s and top 10s, but to win, I don't know. I can't see it. So it's hard to see him have a car like he had, in Kansas a couple years ago or whatever. So we'll see. I could regret it, but I hope I'm on it when it does beat me. So
right there you go.
So what is overall, I would say, the most profitable bet you can make? Is there anything that your research has found that is the more profitable bet that you can make other than outrights?
Well, yeah, I think like long-term profitability, I think top 10s are a great NASCAR bet. I think we can track those very well. Our sim center's been super accurate with, projecting value on top 10s. And just looking back at what we did last year, we crushed top tens for the majority of the year. So if you're the type better that, you don't want to risk an outright, you just want to kind of like I was saying, you're just playing that cash game and just building the bankroll. I think if you have a top 10 you're very comfortable with, you can lay a little bit more on it. And, even with a top 10, some things could go wrong during the race and the drivers can still get there if they got a fast enough car. So I do like top 10s a lot.
And what about for DFS purposes? Like, again, what are the pools like in these? Because I know with NFL, when you're playing the Millie Maker or you're playing the weekly big tournaments, there's like thousands upon tens of thousands of people in these. What's it like? Again, we're talking more for the people that never really played outside of our $5 Discord contest. And we're trying to kind of get them out into the world a little bit more. What's the waters like out there in the DFS world?
It's a tough game. If you're playing tournaments, it's a very tough game. I mean, you're not only playing the players, you're playing the house. They're taking a lot right off the top, and and it's very top heavy as far as the payout structures go. So you really got to pop. I mean, don't go into a tournament playing something that looks like a cash lineup because you're just not going to. I mean, you could profit, you could double your money, you could, or whatever. I guess it could go crazy, but you're probably going to split with a lot of people. I would just try to be different and leverage ownership while still being smart. Play your dominators on the tracks where they're going to, you think they can lead 100 plus laps. You got to obviously hit those. But then when you get to these mid-range guys, like last year at the end of the year, Carson Hoselbar was a great one. He was super low owned toward the end of the year, and he was fast to end the year last year. Him and Jones were doing really well for a little stretch there. So you just find guys like that people don't really want to trust or own, and they can score you a lot of points and move you past a lot of people on the leaderboard.
Cody's good at that.
Just Justin Haley last week. It was looking so good too. Gosh.
Yeah. I actually said in Discord, I was like, Haley does not rate out well for me here. He was like toward the bottom of my list I posted in Discord, but I was like, but I got a plan because I love the dude.
He was looking so good. I was up big until he went out, which was unfortunate, but oh well.
It's a tough DFS week last week.
Yes.
Dos Flacco's in the chat. Cheers, boys. Cheers, Dos
Flacco's.
Flacco's. Also telling you that he loves the info, Ryan. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's
Thank
why we brought him. Wintherace.info. We want to expand your guys' horizons because, it's never a bad thing to know too much. Like everybody wants to learn and wants to learn more. And if you're in the Discord, if you're in our Discord, you know that there's some hungry NASCAR bettors out there that want every piece of info that we can give them. We can only stay on the air for so long, and we've got to, can't be on forever, and we can't give them everything. So that's why we're thankful for you and everybody else out there putting in the work to make Win the Race a real thing.
It's such a fun sport to bet on. I mean, just the odds that we get. They've gotten significantly worse over the last year or so, but they're still great. I mean, go compare it to any other sport out there, and there's nothing like it. Have you guys bet any outrights for Daytona yet?
Not yet. We're putting together that card here in a little bit.
Well, Corey LaJoy, that's an auto bet when the numbers come out, but
yeah.
Yeah,
he's my super speedway guy, but
I got a free bet right now on LaJoy at 65-1.
Nice.
So I'll be rooting with you.
Atlanta's more where I'm really looking at him because I really think he's going to do well there. He's done the best there, obviously, but
yeah,
he can get it done anywhere. I know you mentioned Bubba. I'd hate for you to lose your bet week one, but he's definitely a guy I've got my eye on for the 500. He's specifically in the 500. He seems to be better than. I mean, he's great at plate tracks in general, but really good in the 500, at least getting to the end. But I haven't quite settled on who exactly my outrights are going to be up.
I said that to the guys in the Discord. I'm like, bet Bubba to not win a race, and we start the year off with two drafting tracks, and they change the nose to probably be better on drafting tracks. Right. Like this could be over.
This could backfire very quickly. At least it's one of those things where it's like, okay, that one's gone. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I might have to hedge a little bit and put a little sprinkle on Bubba.
I need an adult. I'm all about Jimmy. I don't care. Just throw all
I saw he's got a big number top Toyota, Rod. That's probably where you should look for him.
Ooh, let's go.
Again, it's a limited field. We only got 8 Toyotas now, right? So it's not the 6 we used to have, which was always fun. but still at 8. I think he was 18-1, I think. I don't have it pulled up right in front of me, but
Yeah, I was looking. There was some good numbers on Caesars for the top. I
yeah,
don't. Is he one
top
that can?
manufacturers in general.
Is he one that can miss the race?
Yeah, he
He
is.
is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So there is that little
If you-
caveat, of course.
if
but,
you-
Yeah, but even if he was in, he could still miss because that was what happened a couple of times already. So.
yeah. If you wait for MGM, I know. So Greg actually posted an article on our site that we just posted. It's free for everybody, so you don't need to be a member to read it for anyone listening right now. But it does go over all those rules because, like, I know off the top of my head, MGM, you could bet him, and if he misses the race, it'll get refunded. So when they drop their top Toyotas and Fords, we got to be on the lookout for that.
Greg is the person to go to for that stuff. He knows all of those sportsbook rules so well.
He's a lawyer that
right?
bets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
I mean,
so
he knows both sides of it very well. So
Yeah.
if you've got questions or if you're not sure on a rule, I see people all the time tweeting him or asking, "Hey, what does this mean?" or "Are they right on this?" Half the time, the support for these books doesn't even understand what their own rules mean, anyways. So Greg is super good at navigating through all that stuff.
Yeah, there's a ton of free articles. He put out 2 new rules articles this week. Jim wrote a good DFS article too. So if anyone's thinking about getting into DFS, you've only gambled up until now. If you want to play DFS, he wrote like a good primer. And it's kind of like what you asked earlier, Rod. Um, like how do you what's your strategy? Well, this has it per race type, like track type, because you're going to want more dominators on tracks with more laps, and you're going to want to not necessarily stack the back, but we have other strategies there too when we play drafting races on Talladega and Daytona. So there's Daytona 500 specifically too for that. But he broke it all down. That's all. That might be behind the paywall because I didn't really want everyone beating us at DFS. I want our strategy to be there. But all Greg's betting ones I know are free for everybody.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about it too. So much good content for free, but again, behind the paywall, you will earn your money back and then some following their strategies because I mean, like you said, you look at some of those tournaments and Win the Race logo is pretty much front and center up there and it's hard to get around. So you rather join him than try to beat him. That's if you can't beat him, join him. And I think that's a good rule of thumb here too.
Yeah. And what, I mean, just while we're talking about that, what's your price for the full season?
So full season right now is $200 for a year, and I'll lock it in for life if you sign up before the Daytona 500. And then we'll probably be at least $250 afterwards. So
But
be
I mean,
at least $50 off.
Yeah, like just for this season, that's what $555 for each cup race, and you have trucks and Xfinity too. So there's 92 races, I think, regular season races between the 3 series, which breaks it down to like $2 a race if you're really looking at it. So that's almost nothing for the amount of information you're getting and the amount of everything that's in there. You've got, I think your Discord is part of that, right?
Yeah, Discord's members only, which I like because it's a great community of people. We're all doing the same thing, everyone paid their dues. We're in there to all end the year profitable. So it's a cool group of people. And Greg's very active in there. I always try to answer everything I can in there all the time. Jimbo's active in there all the time. And then Joe's active in there too, letting everyone know when the Sim Center's updated, what's going on with that, everything. So, and we all put our bets. Like Greg will have his betting card on there every week. He's the main, he's our guy. But as we place bets, we put him in there because if he's busy doing something and we see a line, everyone's tagging the channel and we're going to get it. Earlier, it's a perfect example. Caesars drops the props for the Daytona 500. Greg tags a channel. There's a 4-driver group with Zane Smith plus 500. Those odds make no sense. And it's against other drivers that would be very comparable to him. So in a race where it's a toss-up, they should all be around 25% implied odds. Plus 500 is not that. So they all hit that. By the time I got done with kids' bedtime, it was down to plus 375. I still put a sprinkle on it because it's 21% implied is still, if I figure they're all 25% chance to win, I'll take my chances there. I put 0.3 units on it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, they go quick. So you got to be in the Discord. Very important.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
and
yeah,
just to
yeah,
clear something up too for anyone signing up, anyone to think otherwise, we do have Cup Xfinity trucks. I do offer more for Cup than I do Xfinity and trucks, only because I can't really get the DFS projections out in time if it's a busy weekend or something like that. So you have all the pre-practice qualifying ranks for Xfinity and trucks, but for Cup, always after practice and qualifying, you'll get the DFS ranks, projections, and all that stuff as well. So just didn't want anyone to think otherwise there. But our content schedule is right on the homepage. So
that's awesome. Sweet. Yeah. Do
You can
you?
definitely find that on the tab.
I know you said you don't have a favorite driver right now or anymore. But do you have like one driver that's really stands out to you over the years of like this guy's definitely won me the most money, betting wise, DFS wise, whatever the case is?
yeah, I'm trying to think like no, honestly, I don't think that there is. Like there's not one guy that because I play DFS, the lineup typically has I would say probably Hamlin and Blaney. And not just because of what they did last year. Just I remember like even a couple years ago, I forget what that was, like Bristol or one of the short tracks. They both dominated, and I crushed there, and no one was on one of the two, and I
Nice.
was. But yeah, I think Blaney and Hamlin I've had good luck with. They'll probably be super high owned in almost everything this year. So this year it'll have to be someone new, pivot off. Maybe it'll be my Brad Keselowski early before everyone
There you
jumps
go. Before
on it.
everybody catches on. Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
Big Brad energy to it. Let's go.
yeah. I'll be playing a lot of Brad and Ty Gibbs lineups.
I like it. I like it.
Like I said, I love me some Kings Hawaiian, so we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that as well.
Nice.
All right, Ryan, is there anything else about the site, about something that we may have left out that you want to bring up to everybody that's thinking about joining the site?
No, it's wintherace.info. I hope everyone comes and checks it out. I like locking the price in for life, even if we go, up in the future, just because I do want it to be kind of the same core group of people. People that were there year one, they're locked into their price forever. The people that'll be here this year will be locked in forever. And I just kind of want to grow a fun community. So check it out. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. It's right on my, my Twitter. It's admin@wintherace.info. Or just come to the site. You can, write a note right on there. So just, check it out. Hope to see everyone there.
Cody, any last parting questions for Ryan as we start to wrap things up?
Yeah. One final question. What is the final score of the Super Bowl and how much do the 49ers win by?
Oh, I'll give you one bet I made too.
Okay. Yeah. Even better. Yeah.
'Cause
This is a
Rod
gambling
was
show. So
Rod said, yeah, CMC is ready to score right now. So you can get the Niners over 1.5 rushing TDs. So it'd cover everybody, Debo, if Mitchell gets in there, whatever, at plus 175. And they hit that in 9 of 19 games this year, which I believe is plus 110 at fair value. But you would have to factor in the Chiefs have only given up like 10 rushing TDs. I don't know if it's all year or just in the regular season, but still not a lot at all. But they're not good at stopping the run. I just don't think they've played anyone like the Niners. So at plus 175, and you have running, plays designed by Shanahan where Debo can get the ball too. And Mitchell, was fine near the goal line, and CMC can get 2 TDs by himself easily. So I don't know. And then look at Purdy's wheels last week. That was nice. I don't know. Plus 175, that was my favorite Super Bowl bet. I'm going to say, and I know I'm being a homer, the Niners win 28-24.
That's
like
a good
it.
one.
That's,
Cody, what are you feeling?
I'll give out my pick later on this week, Rod.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, I like it. I think it's, of course, you're going to go with the Niners as well. You should.
have
Your
to.
team's in the Super Bowl. You have to pick your team to win.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's probably in the range that this game will be score wise. So I think it's going to be a close one. And yeah, you got the Niners eking it out.
It'll depend really how they come out in the first half. They can't do what they did the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Not against
yeah,
this
tough
team.
to come back against Andy Reid, Mahomes, and the Chiefs.
Yeah. It's got to be the second half team in the first half. So and Shanahan needs to be not a second half Super Bowl coach like he's been in the past. He needs to be the first half coach for both halves.
Yes,
and
to
they'll
my
be fine.
Falcon friend fans, happy anniversary
Yeah.
of 28-3.
And this last game too, he blew the last Niner game as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you guys were what, up 14 points or something? And
Yeah,
lost
they were
that,
up.
so.
I don't know. I haven't watched it in a while because it breaks my heart. But I think we were up like 7 or 10 points with like 8 minutes left or something, and it just blew it.
Rough.
It was just too much for my heart to handle as it was. I don't know that I could relive that moment. There's no amount of money that can make me watch that again.
No, exactly.
I mean, my pillow had tears all over it because I was just like, I'm done. We're going to just watch somebody else play. The Lions are going to win this Super Bowl. I don't care now. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, then, as we head out the door, Ryan, once again, let everybody know they can follow you on social media. I know you said the website, but where can they follow you on social media and find all of your great content there as well?
You can follow me on X at Win the Race P1. And it's my account, but it's the main Win the Race account. I just decided to combine it. So follow me there, Win the Race P1, and then the website is wintherace.info. I appreciate you guys for having me on too. This was awesome. Hopefully I can come on again for a couple races this year.
Doors open.
Absolutely. Thanks for jumping on with us. You're going to be on Derek Yoder's NASCAR betting preview show. I always get the name messed up, but on the X Spaces every week now this season, right?
Yeah, I'll be the fourth member there now.
Awesome.
Every Wednesday night at 8:00, we'll be live on Spaces talking bets, NASCAR bets, and it'll be live streaming on YouTube too. So it should be fun.
Yeah, powered by our friends over at
In Between Media.
In Between Media, yeah.
Yes, that's where I was going with that.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Seth and those guys because they do a great job as well. So yeah, highly recommend that. I'm looking forward to always one of my favorite shows. So we'll definitely be checking that out. And we'll have to have you on, during a regular race week where we've got a regular race coming up and we can actually put some of that info to good solid use. So for sure we will schedule that down the road.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
All right, Cody, let everybody know where they can find you on social media as well.
Yep. Follow me on the X at Husker_Zeeb. Find all my work over there. There's a lot of it. So check it out. F1 Gambling Podcast. We had an episode of that come out earlier today. Talked about the Lewis Hamilton thing. Little tiny news with Lewis Hamilton there. And covered some more win totals. They added some more not win totals, but season head-to-head matchups. So covered those. It was a lot of fun. So check that out as well. And we're here. It's here. We're in season. I love it. Back with more tomorrow.
Yes, we are. I'm on X at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio, everything I got going on. Whether it's here, whether it's Sportsbook Review, WrestleMania, early odds up on my Twitter handle. You can find it there. Plus got some 49er odds coming out later too. It's busy time here at this old office. But find it all on X right now at RJ Villagomez. We'll be back tomorrow with more as we prep for the Daytona 500. So we'll see you then. And until then, let's go racing, win that race, and let it ride.